everybody, it's Erica here. So you've probably seen him in the Amazon FBA space for a while now. I'm talking about Tim Sanders, aka the Private Label Master. For anybody who doesn't know, Tim is an 8-figure FBA seller and coach behind the Private Label Masters program, and his online course is all about training you to build a successful e-commerce business with Amazon FBA. So since before he started in the coaching space about 4 years ago, Tim has brought in more than $60 million in sales and has launched over 120 products. And while there are a lot of older FBA programs out there, Tim still has a massive experience in the online FBA space. And from what I've found online about his reputation, he seems to be really trusted and is very skilled at building and scaling an FBA. But it still leaves you to wonder what problems you can run into besides just hearing all the hype from Tim and his team. So definitely more to unpack here. And with that being said, let's take a deeper look into this program to make sure you're getting the good, the bad, and everything in between. If you guys want to learn more about my #1 recommendation for making money online, please visit the link in the description below. And just a quick disclaimer to throw out there, guys, this video is all about Tim Sanders, but let me say I have no affiliation with him or any of his programs. This is just my honest opinion based on what I found through hours and hours of gathering research, so you don't have to. With that out of the way, let's jump right into today's video. So to start, there are a lot of strategies you can use for selling on Amazon, and Private Label Masters teaches you specifically about private labeling, which is where you can basically create your own branded products to sell on Amazon. And based on what I've seen, it seems that both new and experienced Amazon sellers have benefited from the Private Label Masters training. However, it does seem more geared towards beginners who have never sold on Amazon before. And speaking of the course, it's definitely known for having a very simple, easy to follow training style. He doesn't just have, slideshows and thrown together material that really lacks any clear direction without giving advice on what he thinks is the best path, like other FBA courses do. With that being said, the program is also, I'd say, a lot better than other FBA courses like Amazing Selling Machine, simply because that other course does have an affiliate program, which really means it's very hard to trust their reviews and tell who's an affiliate or not. So really, other FBA courses lack actual examples of their strategies, but it does seem Tim Sanders actually proves the success of his business through multiple videos and screenshots. But still, there are a lot of downsides about Private Label Masters that might make you think twice. First off, I personally wish he would show more firsthand experience about actually scaling the business on a day-to-day. He kind of lacked showing more of his systems and how he manages his VAs instead, and tends to just explain things conceptually. Also, there is very little info about the actual course cost or refund policy available anywhere online from what I've seen. Still, here the proof is in the pudding, or in this case, the student reviews. And some seem to have complaints about Private Label Masters. They mentioned that the coaches can be very pushy, asking for a lot of money up front, even more than the course itself costs. One reviewer on Trustpilot that I found claims that she got completely played by the sales coach. She quoted her, I think it was $6,000 for the program, when in fact it's only $5,000. And then others are saying that they really only ended up learning how to sell cheap stuff from China. There are also complaints about trouble getting refunds, and that the Facebook group costs an extra $49 a month when the group only has around 1,200 members. And then also some students even called him out for filtering out and even silencing negative reviews. They claim that learning about FBA, like product research and paid ads, can also be done for free on YouTube. So onto the cost of the program, it does cost $5,000 to join Private Label Masters. While it is a modest price tag, it is important to point out that even if you do have enough money to join the program, it still doesn't guarantee your success with FBA. So let's say you join and do everything you need to do to complete the training. There is still the uphill battle of actually implementing all of the skills you learned along the way and having enough capital to do it. Tim, like many other gurus out there, will use the hype to try to sell his course, so it does come with the territory, I get it. But if you have that kind of high expectation that it'll be quick and you realize it's taking way longer to get success than you expected, you're definitely setting yourself up here for failure. With Amazon FBA, or any business really, I found that things can take a lot longer than you'd expect, and anything can really go wrong along the way. More PPC campaigns means more money being dished out, and more competition over products means lower profit margins. Another harsh truth is that a launched product doesn't always equal a successful one, so waiting for your product launch to fail before investing more money is definitely not a smart move. It's way better to have more capital upfront to launch multiple products to really just save time and up your success rate. And let's be real, guys, even as much as $5,000 is just enough for one inventory round. And the FBA game is all about stacking your odds, meaning you have to keep launching more and more products just to keep up. And if we're talking $5K to launch one product, It's literal pocket change compared to what some big brands and distributors throw at their launches. So trying to keep up with them on that scale might just eat you alive. Entering the e-com game with FBA, you definitely got to consider the facts. So to put things in perspective, Amazon welcomes about 4,000 new sellers every day, and while about 180 million Prime users are projected for this year, you can definitely argue that the demand is there. Still, the platform is getting very crowded and competitive. And what makes it worse is Amazon's open door policy makes it very easy for anybody to jump in and start selling. So you're not just competing against fellow sellers. Suppliers with decades of e-com experience are also in the mix, and they do have inside track on new products and can offer lower prices by dropshipping directly to Amazon, cutting out the middleman. Not to mention, more big brands and manufacturers are also dominating more niches these days. That being said, finding winning products with low competition is becoming very hard to do, and profit margins are shrinking constantly. One common misconception is that a couple of winning products can lead to long-term passive income. But even if you do find a winning product, competitors will quickly catch wind of this, copy you, and squeeze dry those already small margins. Think about Tim Sanders, guys. He's launched over 100 products to date, and not all were exactly winners. So even with one winning product, keeping the money flowing takes finding another one in a matter of months. In reality, the Amazon FBA journey demands a full-time commitment and focus. Success involves much more than a few launches. It's an ongoing process that requires time, cash flow, and a lot of effort. So if you're considering this path, be prepared for the long haul because success doesn't always come easy. So when you actually break down the process, and let's face it, not a lot of people do, it's very eye-opening to see just how glorified and easy these FBA courses make the business out to be. In reality, there are a lot of moving parts to running an FBA store and a constant grind of staying ahead of the game. So it's definitely not as passive as it seems. When you consider other business models such as local lead generation, it's definitely like night and day compared to Amazon FBA. Instead, this is a method where you build and rank simple websites to top local searches, generating organic traffic and leads for small businesses that need them. And it's way better than any model out there in 2024. Why? Well, for one, it's local, so the competition isn't as cutthroat, and unlike the global race in e-commerce, local lead gen narrows things down. So you're not competing with big brands, distributors, and suppliers from all corners of the globe trying to dive into the same niche as Amazon. Plus, ranking on Google is way more predictable compared to Amazon, which relies heavily on user reviews. You also have much more control over your results and the process, not to mention your profit margins. So while Amazon FBA is still tried and true, local lead generation is definitely where it's at if you want to increase your odds of success. The bottom line is it's a lot more predictable, and you won't feel like you're trying to run in quicksand. You're selling digital assets, aka leads, which means no hassle with physical products and fewer worries about upfront costs. So for more information on my #1 recommendation for online business, please visit the link in the description below.